Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about how to make a clear tone on the violin. So the first thing is to make sure that your violin and your bow are set up correctly and ready to play. So make sure that you've got the right amount of rosin on your bow. Remember, less is generally more with rosin, so just about enough, not too much. Make sure that your bow is correctly tightened, so you've got just about the width of your little finger in between the bow stick and the bow hair. Then check your violin, make sure that it's first of all in tune, and also it's worth just checking your strings from time to time to make sure that they're not starting to wear out. The way that you'd see that is that they're starting to either unwind at the very top or perhaps around the area where you have the bow or near the bridge. Sometimes that can really affect the tone that you're able to make on your violin, so really worth checking from time to time. The next thing is making sure you're holding your violin and your bow with really good posture, and that will really give you the best chance of making a clear tone. So make sure you've got your violin on your shoulder and you can easily see the 4 strings on your violin as well. Then holding your bow as well, so making sure that your little finger is working and your thumb is bent, you have a nice relaxed grip on your bow hold. So what is a clear tone? A clear tone is one that is centred, it's resonant, and it sounds what we would say, I guess, pure. So I'm going to demonstrate, hopefully, a clear tone for you, and also I'm going to talk about what I did with my bow and drawing a straight bow. Just used my D string there and used 2 whole bows. The main thing I was working on there was making sure that as I was drawing my bow down, that I was keeping it straight. Now, straight is a funny word for with the bow, because really our hand doesn't move in a straight line, even though the bow stick does. So we're trying to make sure that our bow is lined up so it's parallel to our fingerboard. What that feels like is that when your bow is at the heel, your hand will feel quite close to you, your face or your chin rest. As you draw the bow down towards the point, your hand sort of moves in almost like an arc and then will come back to you. Now, if the bow is not moving straight, then we will get a different sort of tone that is not clear. If the bow is moving side to side as we're drawing it down, then that can really affect the tone that we can make, and we can get like an extra kind of sound on the violin. And it stops the tone from being clear and resonant. Now, there's a few ways that we can help with drawing a straight bow. One thing is that you can look at your bow stick and also the edge of your fingerboard and your bridge, place your bow on the string. Generally, I would say kind of towards the fingerboard, not too close, and then see what the tone sounds like as you move the bow down and up. A mirror can be helpful so that you can watch, is that line parallel between the bow stick? Then you can feel, what does that feel like with my hand? And most importantly, what does it sound like? The main thing we need to do with our violin all the time is listen really carefully and really critically to ourselves, not harshly, but just with curiosity to listen to the sound that we're making and make tiny adjustments as we play. So I'm going to show you again and use some different bow lengths. So I'm getting my violin up and ready to play, placing my bow onto the string. I'm not playing too loud, so I'm keeping it slightly closer to the fingerboard. So as a general rule, if you want to play very loud, then you need to have your bow closer to the bridge and apply more pressure and speed. As you move away from the bridge and towards the fingerboard, you can have a little bit less pressure and speed and play quieter. As you could do more complex things on your violin, that may well change for different types of playing, but as a general rule, that's what we would say. So just a very, very light grip on my bow hand, and then just moving the bow up and down, and I was looking carefully partly at the camera and also at my fingerboards to check that my bow was straight, and I managed to get a clear tone. Now, so in summary, make sure that you've got a really good setup for your violin, so you're giving yourself the best chance of making a clear tone. Check your bow, check your violin, check your posture and your bow hold. Use some different strategies, like perhaps using a mirror and also feeling and using your hand-eye coordination, feeling what your bow feels like as it moves across the string. Most importantly, listen to your sound and hear whether or not it's clear. As violinists, we often focus on our left hand where we make our notes, but our bow hand is really our main means of expression. So hugely important to us to be able to communicate the music that we're playing. So really important not to forget about practicing how to use your bow. And a really good way to start any practice session is with some long, slow bows, and then varying the length of your bow and listening really carefully to the tone that you're making with your bow. So I hope you found this video helpful, and please subscribe to my channel.